What is this, Lady Ada?
Hey everybody, and welcome to our weekly show and tell. This is our time to hang out, show each other what we're working on, whether it's soldering or 3D printing or crafting or making or coding, whatever it is.
Oh. Please mute your mic.
Stewart, thanks.
Okay.
Whatever it is that you're working on, we'd like to see it. So come on by and hang out with us. We're here from 7:30 to about 7:50.
Yep.
So we're going to call on each person. We'll start with some Adafruit folks and then show off your project in about 2 to 3 minutes so we can get to everybody. We can get out of here and do our show at 8. So let's kick it off.
First up, Tony, what you got going on this week?
Hey, yeah. So I sat down last week and I did something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that's make a pedometer or a step detection algorithm with Circuit Playground Express and the accelerometer that's built into it. So I looked at, there's a really good paper that I'll put a link to when I do a guide eventually, but basically some people did some research with like an Android phone and the accelerometer is built into it. How can you detect steps, like if you're doing exercise and stuff like that? But that same logic can apply to Circuit Playground, which has a similar accelerometer that you would get in a smartphone. So you can just use that and apply the algorithm that they have. You just do some low pass filtering and some thresholds and peak detection and stuff. But it's kind of cool. So it detects, like slow movement, doesn't really detect anything, but then a sharp impulse, it detects it. And right now I just have the Circuit Playground kind of flashing. But of course, eventually I'm gonna have to build this into what will be the Circuit Walker sneakers so that, you move your feet up and down and it can detect these, kind of like the Firewalker sneakers that we did. But this is great because you can just put your Circuit Playground on the shoe. You don't have to like glue, all the NeoPixel strips. There's a lot of complexity to the the Firewalker shoe build. So this will be the easy version of that in the future. So look forward to that probably the next couple of weeks. We'll get a guide going with that. So that's what I'm up to, is hacking on that. And I guess the last thing that I've been wanting to do for a long time is figure out how to do cat purr detection, like detect when a cat is purring. So maybe with the speaker, maybe with the accelerometer, I have some ideas. So maybe in the future we might see some stuff with that. So.
Yeah, we'll test with different cats. I have a cat that purrs a lot.
Yes.
Exactly. It's got to be tuned for it.
Most of it like that. Okay. Next up, Scott.
Hello. A couple updates. Release Canada 2 for CircuitPython's been doing really well. People should try it. We're super close to calling it 1.0, the first stable release. Super exciting. In the meantime, while we see if there's any bugs, I've been working on 2.0. And the main thing I've done recently, I'm losing my SD cards, is today I was working with micro SD cards, and I actually have it where you can have both the onboard flash going and the SD card at the same time, which is super cool. So if you want to be on the bleeding edge, check out the GitHub Adafruit CircuitPython. The master branch has it. And then lastly, I just wanted to show off something that I had talked about previously, and this is actually the Sci-Fi feather. Not sure you can see it, but it looks really cool, which is about what it's good for right now. I tried getting it going on Friday, and the crystal's not happy with me. So I do have some more debugging to do. One interesting thing is, it's OshPark purple, which is super cool because I use OshPark for it. And then the battery connectors I got from DigiKey are actually white, which is like totally weird for a feather too.
Yeah.
And then I guess the last thing is the YouTube chat is not working well for me. So last week we actually started a Discord server, which is a pretty popular chat room with video streamers. And it's basically a chat room that sticks around. So if people are interested, I will put a link in the YouTube chat and people can join there and we can chat all week instead of just during the shows.
Sounds good.
Chat. All right. Thanks for the updates, Scott.
Next up, Noe and Pedro.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We also have a CircuitPython project. Lamar, you wrote the software for this one. So I put
Phil.
You wrote it for Phil, and Phil, thank you for this, because I used this morning and it worked without a hitch. If our ISP was working fully, we would have been able to do it in the morning, but we did a show later in the afternoon. This is awesome. So I put together a really small version. You have a 6-button version, but I have the 4-button version. If I was using Wirecast, I'd be switching between scenes right now, but we're doing Google Hangouts thing, so can't use Wirecast. But this is awesome.
Set up to switch scenes whenever you.
I do, and it works very well. There's almost zero latency. So check it out. We have the guide up on the Adafruit Learning System, and we'll have the code up later. I think during the show, because I'm going to do that. So if you guys need a really cool way to do key commands or anything like that using just kind of like a basic USB keyboard but with custom triggers and stuff, check out the guide. It also lights up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the neat thing about this is that you don't need to compile Arduino code. They can remap the keys just by plugging it in. You open up the file, you remap it. And so like it works really well.
Yes,
for,
so I can plug
dynamic.
this into any computer and just make it do whatever I want, which is awesome.
Yes. And you got those cool new little LED arcade buttons. They're small, but they're still very arcade-like.
Yeah, cool.
Fun to press.
Thank you.
Fun to press.
All right, next up, Dannon. Dannon N, engineer. Unmute your mic and show us your project.
There we go. Say hi.
Hello.
Hi,
Your name?
it's me, Nia again.
It's Mia.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And 3D printed me the beginning of a Pokeball fidget spinner. And then I also 3D printed, I made this cube thing on Fusion 360, and then my dad 3D printed it.
Sweet. You can store your
Yeah,
Pokemon.
she designed. She completely did that herself. That was her first lesson and her first project.
And
Sweet.
my dad did it.
Yay.
Yay.
And my
Very cool. And you also have a blue pin that you're wearing.
Yeah, you got an LED pen.
That's Billy. Yay.
Yay.
She had to wear that for the show and tell.
All right.
Good work.
Well, if you have a parent, email us, support@adafruit.com. We'll send you out an as seen on a show and tell sticker that'll fit perfect on that box.
And you can.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks for coming by
Congratulations
next week.
on your first design.
Yeah, you got a spinner and a box. That's
All
pretty
right.
sweet. You can make anything.
Next up, Greg. Hey, Greg, unmute your mic and show us your project.
I'm unmuting.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Yay.
Great.
So I am going to show off a boat monitoring project that I've been working on. Not quite done yet, but getting there. When I first forayed into this, originally it was just going to be on the TFT feather using Fona for alerting for things like my refrigerator and freezer. And like many things that we do with projects, it kind of spun out of control. So now this is what it's become, is all of this. I'll be using the ESP32 Wi-Fi. I just got it today, so this prototype's on the M0 Express. And got a whole bunch more telemetry that I'm pulling out. So I got the BME 280 for humidity, temperature, pressure, the UV S1145 for UV index. I'm using the Fona breakout board as a failover if the Wi-Fi is not happy for some reason. A float sensor for water incursion in the boat, and some voltage dividers to monitor the banks of batteries on the boat as well. Everything's powered through the a buck converter, which takes the boat batteries down to 5 and powers everything up. Feather's got the shift leveler to pull it down to 3. The sensors for the refrigerator and freezer, which started all this, are actually the Dallas one-wire sensors, which are really handy because they're digital and they go really far from the monitor. Plus, they've actually got a little chip in there, and you can actually code the upper and lower level alarms. So you don't have to necessarily code that in the system. So let me fire this guy up. The last piece was the display, which I started out with just a vanilla TFT and the RA8765 or whatever it is. And that was good, but it looked like it required a fair amount of talent for graphics, which I have 0 talent for graphics. So I found this intelligent board, which actually you can use a GUI to build up the graphics, and then you just outline all the data pieces that you're going to populate from the UART. So it's just a straight up serial connection, and it's a resistive touch. So I've got configuration screens for the SMS and for the Wi-Fi, and little analog, emulated analog displays for the refrigerator and such. And eventually what I hope to do is pull in the other data that's already on the boat. Boats have a proprietary bus, CAN bus, which is something the ESP32 actually has a CAN controller built in, yay. and I'm hoping to decode that and maybe make a library for other boaters that might want to make stuff. It's just a serial bus and has a whole bunch of messages. So in here, I've already preloaded stuff for water temperature and the depth and the wind speed and wind direction. These are all sensors I already have in the boat. It's just on this bus I got to pull off.
Okay, cool.
Very
Huge
cool.
project.
Well,
amazing.
You get a sticker.
Okay.
Adafruit.com, and keep coming back with these projects. We really like the nautical ones.
So next time, hopefully, it'll all be packaged up in my Ruiz Brothers printed case and everything. So.
Have we had a show and tell from a boat?
You should totally show and tell from a boat.
I could try that. I got a decent Wi-Fi.
Okay. All right. First awkward
show and
show and tell. Okay.
Getting the ESP32. I had to sit in there while it was in stock.
Well, I just work it out.
All right.
Okay.
Next up. Welcome back, Adam. How you doing, Adam?
Hey there. So it's been a bit busy, graduating high school and that sort of stuff, but I also have a brand new shop to move into, which is really exciting. And I'm sorry if this is potato vision right now because my Wi-Fi out here is horrible. Also power, also water incursion, and cleaning out the trash, but it's going to become my shop eventually. So right now the microscope's in a number of pieces behind me because it doesn't fit through any doors. So it's just like I bought it again. Half of it's there, half of it's back where I was working on it originally. I'll go ahead and do some screen sharing real quick. So there was a little bit of progress made on it this week. I started recapping the microscope. So got a whole bunch of caps from DigiKey, started soldering them into the board. I basically determined that there's enough different little problems going on that's it's got to be just the most likely part to fail. And I should have followed your advice and should have done this sooner. But as I said earlier, my little ESR meter was telling me they were good, and I think that was lying. But yesterday, I got a quick workbench built up. This was my dad's been building the same style of shelf for at least as long as I've been alive. So we just have all these pieces, or these shelving pieces, and I decided if we have enough extras of these that I can throw those together into a quick workbench. So I did, and now I have a work surface out here. I can start to get stuff going. I also had a little bit more time to work on my leak detector, evaluate what I really want to do with that system. And then I found the electronics on my leak detector system and decided that I'm not touching this thing because that looks horrible. This is a 2,000 volt power supply in there, built in a way I never want to learn to build electronics. So that's just not going to be touched. I'm going to get the vacuum parts out of it, build my own system with it, and not attempt to use this power supply because that looks horrible and slightly dangerous. A couple other photos. This was pressure washing this. When I got to use this building, it was literally filled with 1 ton of trash we had to take to the dump. It was old carpets, old doors, old appliances. So spent 2 days just cleaning this thing out, pressure washing. And if you can all avoid it, do not pressure wash above your head because it's horrible and stuff falls down on top of you, but the roof had to be cleaned somehow. So, but no, other than that, it's shaping up to be a really nice place. I'll have enough room to work behind the microscope. Before I was just kind of down there crouching, trying to not get hit by the vacuum pump and make the adjustments on my power supplies, but I'll finally have enough room to really start working these projects and hopefully do some other cool projects. So excited in a couple
Congratulations
weeks.
on the workshop. And are you off for the summer because you're done with high school?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, kind of. I got my work to do still, but
yeah. Outstanding. Well, if you want a sticker for the workshop, email support@adafruit.com.
You should.
Yeah, thank you.
And the workshop and the power washer.
All right. Next, we're going to go to Stewart. Stewart, unmute your mic and show us your project.
Yeah, can you see me?
Yeah.
Hey, sir.
Oh, okay. I wanted to share some documents. See,
This isn't the WikiLeaks channel. Yeah, it's just in the news. That's why I thought of it.
Oh, okay.
Woo! Look at that. That's cool.
Let's see.
It was like we were in a time vortex.
Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so one summer I wanted to torture myself and run cabling all through the house. About 3 years ago, that's CCTV cabling and RJ45 cable for networking. And that was an extra additional networking cabling. And this was the intercom cabling I had to run. But what I want to get to is the LED system. The LED system, it has approximately 7 zones. The zones are pertaining to the motion sensors that I placed all over the house. The LEDs, I have about 7 or 8 zones there. What I did initially was I hooked up a microprocessor and an SD card and set it to record the number of times that it would trigger so I can get a baseline for how often it was used. Now, these LED light strips that are inside the house, they are all ran by a battery, okay? So let me get rid of this. Sorry about that.
I like this, the confidential document. I knew this was going to be.
Totally.
I know.
It's dropping the docs.
Yeah.
Secret plans to get into the vault.
So what I do, this is the battery that it runs by. I'm not sure if you can see this. Oh, so this is the battery that it runs by. This is the indicator that lets me know which zones are triggered by the sensors. Now, this was about 3 years ago, so this was pre-feather. This was pre-silicon, pre-my 3D printers, and pre-feather. So now I have enough feathers to make a small bird, but this was during that time. So this was a wood box that I created that's tied up to the system. The actual system, let's see if I can get off the screen now. Sorry, I'm trying to get off the screen. Hold on a second.
It's like at the end of 2001 Space Odyssey.
So this is the actual system. And this is the Raspberry Pi here. That controls the garage door. So when the garage door is open, it sends me a email message for both garage doors to tell me which one is open, how long it was open, and when it closes, it sends me another voicemail message. This, I'm going fast because it's a lot. This is an enclosure. All parts are Adafruit, except for the ones I couldn't get, which is like the enclosure and things like that. Now this is the RGB LCD. When it's off, it's red, and it says off. This is triggered by an RTC, which triggers about 658. It went off 2 seconds from 3 years. But when this comes on, it turns green, and this turns on, and it's all voice actuated like I showed last time. And this shows the when the system is active, and this is the voice indicator. And here I can just turn the voice off and on if I didn't want to hear it audible here. The voice, the speaker is in the garage. It's also in the foyer, so you can hear it inside the house. And this controls the front door LED and the garage LED, which is not part of the sensors that I showed you earlier. This is a separate one. Eventually, I'll tie them into the system. This is all controlled by an alarm box that I made up and put 2 batteries in as a backup in case the power fails. So it all operates during the if a power outage goes off. And okay. That's it.
Intense. I'm not breaking into your house. That's not gonna happen.
Outstanding. Well,
nice work, Stewart.
You can get an As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker. Email support at adafruit.com and keep coming back and showing
one for each zone.
The home automation stuff. There's a lot of interest in the open source community for home automation because it's in your home. And if you don't know what's going on, someone else could if it's all closed source. So you probably have the most secure home automation out there. Okay.
And everyone's going to know.
Yeah.
Don't go in.
Next up, we're going to go to John K. John K., unmute your mic and show us your project. Your screen's blank, so I'm going to come back to you. So next up, Brian. Hey, Brian, unmute your mic and show us your project.
Hey, guys. Yeah, so I am showing another project with an ESP8266 and 511 screen. I'm just going to change to my other camera here. So hopefully you can see that. So as you can see, it's a 3D printed case. I remixed a cookie cutter that I found on Thingiverse, and it displays the current price of Bitcoin. So you mentioned it in the live show last week, so I thought it'd be a pretty interesting thing to show. I just happened to be working on it. But what's kind of interesting about this one, and I might just share my screen, is that it's configurable through an instant messaging client called Telegram. So you can see here, it sent me a message to say that it was starting up, and I can message it to ask what commands it has. So I don't know if you know, but there's a lot of other crypto coins as well, like Ethereum is a pretty popular one at the moment. So I can add that to the list of ones that it'll cycle through to show it has. So I don't know if you know, but there's crypto coins as well, like
keep going. Hey, Jeffrey.
Yeah, so also what you can do, you can see on the screen there, hopefully. You can see my screen okay, can you?
Yeah, you're setting ETH to 5.5.
Yeah, so that's an example. So you can set your holding of a certain one to whatever amount of coins you have. So say you're lucky enough to have 100 Ethereum. So you can set your holdings and it will display kind of your live value up on screen. How do I get out of the screen share?
Oh, it's like your bank account balance.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you say, I have 5.5 Ethereums, and it's like, oh, that's worth.
It's like an open source version of like the Bloomberg terminals that they sell you for like $10,000.
Yeah, so as you can see there, it's showing Ethereum at the moment, and I hold 100 of it, and it was worth whatever $333 or $330,000. But you can also do things like set the currency to euro, because that's more interesting to me, I guess. But yeah, you can display up to 10 different ones. It pulls the data live off a website called CoinMarketCap using their API. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Outstanding. This is fun watching it go up and down. Is that?
It's been a hectic. It's been a pretty hectic week. Yeah, it went down an awful lot in the last kind of 10 days, but it's bounced back in the last 2. So fingers crossed.
Email support at adafruit.com, and we'll send you out as seen on Show and Tell sticker, which always keeps its value.
Can you also post your code? Because I'm curious on how you got it to integrate with Telegram. I'd like to check that out.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. I actually wrote a library for the Telegram integration.
Okay, cool, yeah.
When you email support, put attention Phil, and if you want to do a guide, or we can
I'd love to see a guide.
We can fund one of these with Bitcoin or something. I don't know.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'd love to do that. Thanks.
Okay.
We have Bitcoin holders.
All right,
okay,
so
cool.
we're gonna get to the last 2 folks. If everyone go fast, so we're gonna go to Jeffrey, and then we'll wrap up with Aidan. Hey.
Hey, Jeffrey. Hi.
Hello.
So,
what do you want to show?
we want to show these unicorn horns that we 3D printed.
Oh, sweet.
And what's your name?
Hazel.
Hey, Hazel. Welcome back.
Hi. So many unicorn horns, I can't even hold them all. And we also have this LED one, which my dad is holding out.
That's cool.
Ooh.
But it's colorful, and it's a rainbow.
It's some NeoPixels on an LED strip. Currently connect to a Raspberry Pi, but we should get our order of trinkets in and make this much smaller and more mobile.
Yeah.
What I like is that by 3D printing it, you don't have to go out and hunt your own unicorns anymore, which is always a pain.
Yeah,
they're really hard to hunt.
They're endangered.
They're endangered. They're skittish. This way, you can just print any color you want. And I like you have like the multicolored.
Yeah.
Yellow and green. That's a rare color.
So this one has a bunch of like stuff falling off of it. We just got it off the print. So
let's let someone else go.
Yeah, let's let the other person go.
That's great.
Okay.
Well, email support at adafruit.com, and you could probably put an as seen on the Show and Tell sticker around one of those. Excellent
You
work.
might want to check out, Erin just did a project called Unicorn Horn with the moving ears. She made like these moving ears, so you can like make a hat that has a unicorn horn, and then the ears flap up and down, and it's like super cute. It's called Rainbow Unicorn Project. So check it out on learn.adafruit.com. I think you would.
I like that.
Yeah, you should totally do that. You gotta do that.
Good work, Hazel, and thank you, Assistant Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, you have to help Hazel do that project. Get her those parts immediately.
All right.
Instant.
Aidan, how's it going? Welcome back. Show your project.
Hey, so I'll try and keep this as brief as possible, but basically a while back I was thinking like I really like being eco-friendly and caring for the earth and whatnot, and so I wanted to do a project that kind of went along with that. So what I thought of was using 3D printed molds to recycle paper and cardboard and whatnot. So this is the first kind of test I did. It was these 2 halves, and they have like little vent holes in it. And basically what I'm doing is I'm grinding up cardboard and paper shreds, like I have right here. I'm putting them in a blender with water and Elmer's glue, and then I'm basically just pressing it into these 3D printed molds, and the water can flush out through the vent holes, and I can be left with a little coaster in this case, or as I did with this mold, like a little block or whatnot.
Yeah.
So I've basically just been experimenting with different amounts of water, different types of paper, different glues and whatnot. And I've gotten best results with like shredded printer paper.
Yeah.
In like this case and this little coaster. this is actually like very rigid and strong. Can't really flex it at all. But I've gotten pretty good results with the cardboard too. So basically that's what I'm experimenting with, using 3D printing to recycle materials and give them new life.
This is a great idea. You know, you could also make blocks that are interlocking in some way, so you can like build little structures. I can imagine in the future like a kit for kids where they start learning how to recycle doing this. Like, oh, you know, Play-Doh is my recycle center or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool.
And,
Stuff going on.
Well, you get a sticker, and you can recycle a sticker if you want. You can grind it up.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you so much. All right. That's show tonight. Thank you so much, Stewart, Scott, Noe and Pedro, Greg, Hazel, Maya, Brian, Aidan, Adam, and everybody who's on the show and tell. We're here every single week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and Ask an Engineer starts in 2 minutes. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Yay.